and to blink on this occasion. I mean, it's perfectly fine to fold, don't get me wrong. 10-8 offsuit is still 10-8 offsuit. We'll have a rewind and a rematch. GB 2005 raising the button. And Johnny finds a real hand, so this potentially could work for him. This time, GB 2005 happy to call with position. Oh, and it's not a good flop for GB. Flop's top pair, but it's a flop that could get him into trouble. Johnny will bet. And GB raises, which is interesting. Oh, and an instant shove from Johnny Drama. And GB 2005 quickly calls. Well, I'm surprised he didn't think about that more. But the money's in the middle. He does have top pair, but it's no good. King doesn't change too much. GB 2005 needs to catch on the river, doesn't get it done, and Johnny Drama will put himself in pole position to win this title. Big, big pot. And GB 2005 just was not a believer. Of course, it's a big laydown to think about folding top pair, but he decided to raise the flop and play it fast. The money went in and leaves GB 2005 the short stack, and he's not hanging around either. He's going to shove Queen 9. He's going to get snapped off here by vluff, and GB 2005 is going to go from chip leader to third place finisher, unless he can get very lucky here. Well, tough now, isn't it? Looks like GB 2005 will have to be content with third. 8 of spades changes nothing. 9 on the river gives him 2 pair, but not good enough. vluff with aces and kings will take it down and knock out GB 2005. One-time chip leader has to be content with third place. $34,992 over to him, and we are heads up for the title. Event number 5, WCOOP title will be won by Johnny Drama or vluff. They've tangled quite a lot already at this final table. A couple of 3-bet pots. We'll see who comes out on top. Johnny Drama with a significant chip lead. And this could be trouble for vluff. The Canadian player has top pair against an aggressive opponent. And as we saw in GB 2005's crippling hand, when an aggressive opponent gets a big hand and you've got a little something, you can often be in a lot of trouble. Understandably, of course. No shame in going broke with top pair to a player as aggressive as Johnny. 7 of spades, maybe a little bit of an action killer here. Does complete the flush draw, although pretty rare that either of them would have the flush draw in this spot. Partly because they're heads up and partly because nobody raised the flop. Johnny will bet, vluff will call. And nothing changes on the river. So, if Johnny value bets again, which I suspect he might do, it's not an easy spot for vluff. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. It's a nice value bet. Believes that both his image and his hand and the board all mean that there's plenty of worse hands he can get paid with here. vluff will know that Johnny doesn't have to have a big hand in this spot. And he does call, and I think you can understand that. It's a little bit of a mini cold deck, given that they're heads up and given the action and the players. Everything going Johnny Drama's way. It did at the start of this final table. There's a dip in the middle. Things have now swung back to him, but will it be decisive? vluff is still in there. 5,000 chips. Gives him over 30 big blinds, so by no means critical levels. And he's not giving up either, is he? Staying aggressive. Will 3-bet. With 9 high, Johnny with a real hand, flat calls. Massive flop for vluff. Flops bottom pair and the straight flush draw with the 9. Well, this would be the wrong time for Johnny to make a play. He's going to flat call and float this flop. Pretty good flop to flat call and appeal, isn't it? A lot of times vluff may well shut down on the turn. Also Johnny does have a gut shot. Well, vluff does decide to check the turn, although I don't think it's a check that means he's folding. In fact, I'd be shocked if it was. Johnny will bet, having made the play on the flop. vluff will just call. Interesting. A lot of players have just got the money in there. So much equity. He does catch on the river. Has the 9 high flush. Decides to check it now. What does Johnny do? Does he give up? Or does he try and bluff this away? Depends what he makes of that flat call. Oh, he does try and win the pot the only way he can. He's not going to be successful, unfortunately. And that diamond on the river could be a massive card in their heads up. Johnny Drama still has the chip lead, still has a healthy chip lead. But vluff right back in this. Hand 282, and welcome to Coolersville, Tennessee. Not a real place. Ace-King suited against pocket tens. Probably just a case of how they get the money in here. Johnny will 3-bet. And vluff, well, at about 45 big blind at the start of this hand, I think most players will shove here. So having to think about it, maybe just toying with the idea of making a smaller 4-bet to try and induce something from Johnny to make it look like he's a bit weaker. I think it's either that or the shove. It is the small 4-bet. In the long run, I don't think it's going to make any difference. I think the money's going in. Yeah, Johnny will shove. vluff will call, and we'll have a huge race here. If Ace-King can improve, then Johnny Drama will be your champion. If not, vluff doubles up. He'll have the chip lead and we'll play again. The 10s with the edge, but we're in classic race territory, and the king on the flop is the big frying pan of poker in vluff's face. Needs a 10 on the river, or Johnny Drama is going to be your champion. The title looks like it's heading to Greece, and that's exactly what happened. Johnny Drama's Ace-King beats vluff's 10s, and what threatened to happen for most of this final table does come to pass. Johnny Drama is the winner of Event 5 of the WCOOP 2010. The $320 shootout goes to Greece, $62,208 for his trouble. Good performance by Johnny. He was the most aggressive player at the final table and well deserved the win. Event number 5 was a case of here's Johnny. There's your final table payouts. Our multinational table complete. Hope you enjoyed this 6-max table and the culmination of a shootout tournament. We'll be bringing you lots of different games throughout our coverage of the WCOOP. Hope you're enjoying playing at it. Remember, satellites are happening right now for every event, and they start super cheap, so no reason not to get involved. There'll be another one of these very soon, but for now, and everyone at PokerStars.tv, I'm Nick Wealthall. Catch you later.